I've been testing the Kindle Colorsoft for the past 8 days, and initially I was impressed, but I wasn't sure about something that I just couldn't put my finger on. In this video, I'm going to cover the hands-on experience I've had with this Kindle Colorsoft over the last 8 days. I'll add a bit about who I think this device is perfect for, and my honest verdict, including the main reason why I've decided to send this back. Starting with screen size, the Colorsoft has a 7-inch display, which was an increase from the 11th generation Paperwhite that I had before, which was only 6.8 inch. The Colorsoft uses a Kaleido 3 display that adds a colour filter layer on top of the standard e-ink panel. That's what allows it to show 4,096 different colours. On battery life, Amazon promotes that the Colorsoft can last for 8 weeks off a full charge. Having tested this for 8 days, it's dropped by just 12%, which shows this figure is fairly accurate. Then on the subject of pricing, in my unboxing video I said that the Colorsoft comes in at $250, but someone quite rightly pointed out that if you can wait for Amazon to run a deal, they sometimes come as low as $179. So if you can wait, I'd say definitely keep an eye on those deals. For storage, the Colorsoft comes with 16GB as standard, but there is the option to upgrade to a 32GB. For comparison, my 11th generation Paperwhite is 8GB, and I still have over 5GB free with a big library. But that extra space may be really useful to you if you're someone that particularly likes to download loads of books and audiobooks all onto your Kindle and never have to worry about space becoming an issue. And finally, on waterproofing, the Colorsoft is IPX8 rated, so that means it's safe for anyone who wants to read by the pool or in the bath. So here are my key takeaways from my last week of using the Colorsoft. Firstly, is that the colour impressed me. It might sound really obvious to say something like that with a product like this, but actually, I was quite uncertain how the colour was going to look going off the screen. But as soon as I got into things like recipe books and definitely into graphic novels, I really enjoyed the experience, which is impressive because when it came to my Paperwhite, I've never actually enjoyed a graphic novel experience. Then when it comes to battery, the 8 weeks is perfect for anyone who likes reading on the go. I was a little bit uncertain whether the battery would actually drop faster because of the colour screen, but as far as I could see, it should still last the 8 weeks recommended by Amazon. The increased speed also impressed me. I think this is something where it really shines. Comparing it here to my Paperwhite 11th generation, the Colorsoft feels snappier, and for me it removed some of that clunky delay I sometimes get on my Paperwhite. I also really love the colour highlighting. You can now choose from 4 highlight colours instead of just 1 on a standard Paperwhite. It's small, but it makes note-taking feel a lot more organised. And then finally, something I really enjoyed was using dark mode. It has both light and dark reading modes on the Colorsoft. And again, that small thing felt really nice, especially when you have that option throughout the day. So before I give my final verdict on the Kindle Colorsoft and explain that main reason why I'm sending it back after just 1 week, I want to talk about who I think it is for. Firstly, it's first-time Kindle users. If you're someone that's approaching this as a potential first Kindle, I think it's a really good option for you. It's really nice to have that option of the colour alongside the standard black and white e-ink. So for me, I would say consider this as your first Kindle and you wouldn't be disappointed by what you'd get. Then, it would be upgraders. If your Kindle's potentially getting older and feels slower to use, it might be time for you to upgrade. Again, if that were me, I'd say that the Colorsoft's a really good option to upgrade to. It's fast, the 8 weeks still feels like plenty of battery life, and as I've already talked about, the colour is a really nice benefit. Finally, it would be for readers of graphic novels, recipe books, and travel guides. It was these genres that really stood out to me on the Colorsoft. They're something that I've never been able to really enjoy on my Paperwhite, so stepping up to have these on the Colorsoft with that full vibrancy really made all the difference. So that would be another group that I would say would definitely enjoy having a Colorsoft. Over the last week, I've really enjoyed getting to use the Kindle Colorsoft. I think in a lot of ways this is a great product, and it might just be the difference for you and take your reading experience to a whole new level if what you really love is your Kindle but want that colour on top of it. For me, I wouldn't say that's initially the case. I like graphic novels and recipe books, but they're not something I use lots of, and to be honest, I quite enjoy that experience on an iPad. But they're not the main reasons why I've decided to send this back. There was something that was nagging me all week using the Colorsoft. It just felt slightly more digital. At first, I put this aside and felt like maybe it was just the brightness. Maybe there was something different than my Paperwhite which my eyes weren't used to. But as the week went on, I started to compare it more and more to my Paperwhite, and this feeling of it being more digital felt more prominent. So I started to compare it again with the same level of brightness and the exact same settings, and there I saw that it still was more digital. So after looking this up online, it is something that is a downside of the Colorsoft. Unfortunately, the Kaleido 3, whilst it's brilliant and it's the new wave of e-ink technology for colour, it does create a slightly more digital effect. For some, that may not be a huge difference, and it may be that you're willing to sacrifice that little bit of sharpness from the Paperwhite to have colour on your Kindle. But for me, whilst I really like where Amazon is going with the Colorsoft, it's not quite there yet, and I feel like the Paperwhite is better suited to what I'm looking for. That's why for now, I'm going to stick with my Paperwhite and iPad combo for when I'm reading. Colour e-ink is clearly the future, and it's still in its early days. Kobo released its first colour e-reader in April 2024, and then Amazon followed later that year with its first Kindle Colorsoft. This one I've just tested is the 2025 edition of the Colorsoft, and overall I do think it's a really good product. I just couldn't get over that feeling of it being more digital than the Paperwhite. But I'm really excited to see where this technology goes in the future. I think there can be some big improvements, and hopefully I'll get to try one again soon. If you've tried an e-reader with colour, I'd love to hear from you to know what you thought, and please let me know your suggestions in the comments. I'll see you next time.